Hello Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Taurus, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with all that being said, Taurus, let's get started. How does Taurus currently view this relationship? All right, Taurus, so we do have the Empress, we do have the Page of Cups, and then we also have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you've been waiting for this. Yeah, I feel like you've been waiting for this moment. It kind of looks like somebody did something to self-sabotage things here, between the two of you. And I do see you receiving an apology from this person in particular. Yeah. And it kind of looks like Spirit has been trying to get this person to do this for quite some time now, as far as like extending themselves is to you is concerned, and apologizing to you, for whatever it is that they said and or did to self-sabotage things here between the two of you. It's as if Spirit doesn't want this person to forget that they did you wrong. It's basically what I'm getting. Yeah, it's basically what I'm getting. And it does appear to me that this person is about to do the right thing, right? Which is apologize to you for, all the pain that they essentially caused you and the disappointment that they essentially caused you. Man, this feels so freaking long overdue. It's not even freaking funny. It's not even funny because I feel like whenever this occurred, it kind of happened a little while back ago. Like, I don't feel like it happened recently. It happened a little while back ago is what I'm gathering. Like, this person did you wrong a little while back ago. Like, they didn't do you wrong last night or the night before that. Like, this to me feels like they did you wrong a long time ago. And Spirit has been trying to get this person to apologize to you and do the right thing, because Spirit won't let this person forget, okay, about how they did you. Okay, Spirit won't let them forget about that. And it kind of looks like they're finally listening to Spirit and finally deciding to apologize to you. I am definitely getting that. I also feel like this person's going to be saying some kind words in your direction. So not only do I see this person apologizing, but I do see this person saying a lot of kind things to you. So this person might thank you for being a good woman to them or a good man to them. Or they might say something, else that's super sweet. But I am definitely getting that you're finally getting what it is that you deserve, which is an apology from this one over here. Because it looks like this person, did you dirty and didn't even bother to apologize to you, for it. It's like they just kind of did you dirty and, just kind of carried on with their damn life is basically what I'm getting. Wow. Okay. That's kind of interesting, but and fucked up. But how does this person currently view this relationship? All right, so we do have the Death card, we do have the Eight of Wands, and then we also have the High Priestess. This to me just kind of feels like an energy of them like kind of turning like over like a new leaf is kind of what I'm getting. And I do feel like this is like one of the other reasons why this person is choosing to essentially apologize to you. They're just turning like over a whole new leaf is basically what I'm getting. They don't want to be the person that they essentially used to be in the past anymore. They don't. I don't necessarily feel like you're going to be the only person that they're going to apologize to, by the way. I don't feel like you're the only person that they're going to find themselves apologizing to. Nope. I am definitely getting this person will be apologizing to somebody else as well. And this somebody else is somebody that they also did dirty as well. Needless to say, I think that this person wasn't necessarily the best human being. In the past, they definitely weren't. But they are turning, over a whole new leaf. And they are very determined to essentially change their ways and do better. And this person feels like, as they're as they are working on changing their ways and becoming a better human being, they feel like there's certain people that they need to essentially apologize to. I am definitely getting that. They feel like there's certain people that they need to apologize to. So you're receiving an apology, but so is somebody else, is what I'm gathering. Okay? But it's something that they feel like they have to do. Yeah, it's something that they feel like they have to do. Okay? How does Taurus feel? Here's the thing, which I don't blame you for this, but I feel like this apology is like long over fucking due, which I was really getting that strongly. When this person does apologize to you, I mean, I do see you accepting their apology, but I also kind of see you feeling some type of way that it took them this fucking long to realize that they fucked up, to realize that, they did you wrong. I think that you would have wanted, this apology a lot sooner, from this person in particular, but it just kind of looks like you didn't receive an apology from this person. A lot sooner than, you were hoping, I guess you would. So yeah, it's one of those situations too where it's like, I see you accepting their apology, but I also see you like falling into this energy of like, wow, it took you that long to fucking apologize. Like, really? I am definitely, getting that. Do I think that you're going to snap on this person? No, I don't think that you're going to snap on this person or anything like that. No, I don't think so. I just kind of feel like you're, not too happy that it took this person this long to essentially do the right thing by apologizing to you for whatever it is that they said and or did that left you extremely hurt, and disappointed. And I think that them not apologizing, played a massive role in why it took you a while to move past what this person put you through. And not owning up to it, because there's something about them doing you dirty and just, getting up and walking away from you is basically what I'm getting. And having to essentially recover from that and move past that was one hell of a journey, for you. And I think that that's kind of why you're kind of angry and upset as well, is because you're reflecting back on that moment where, you were left to essentially pick, the pieces back up, and how long it fucking took you to get over their, whatever they did or whatever it is that they essentially said and how they went about it. A lot of you feel like, well, if this person would have apologized to me sooner, if they would have said all this to me sooner, maybe I wouldn't have gone through what I went through, you know what I mean? But it just kind of looks like they did you dirty and they just dipped, you know what I mean? And you were left to kind of pick up the pieces. And it made your healing journey, more challenging, and difficult, because you're walking around with a lot of anger and resentment, towards them. And there was a lack of like clarity and understanding on top of that, like why they did you the way that they did you, especially because you were nothing but good to them. So I understand. Yeah, that, it makes sense as to why, you know what I mean? You're going to be somewhat upset when you do hear from this person. But I do see you accepting their apology. Nonetheless, how does this person currently feel? Okay, so we do have the Temperance card. We do have the Two of Cups. And then we also have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. All right, the bottom of the deck, we do have the Knight of Swords, we do have the Hangman, we do have the Knight of Wands, and then we also have the Sun, and then we also have the Hierophant. Okay. In regards to how this person is currently feeling, not only do I see this person changing their ways, Taurus, but I do see this person wanting to be, a better person for the next person that essentially comes along, whenever the next person does essentially come along, is what I'm gathering. Because currently at the moment, I do feel like this person is definitely single right now and very focused on themselves and their spirituality and going through like this massive transformation. But I am getting, not only do they want to be a better person, but they also want to be a better person for the next person that does essentially come along, because they don't want to hurt the next person that essentially does come along the way that they essentially hurt you and the way that they hurt other people, because I'm getting that there is other people that they essentially hurt and betrayed and deceived as well, is basically what I'm gathering. Now, here's another thing too. This person doesn't really know, you know what I mean, if the one will ever come along, or if love will ever show up at this person's doorstep ever again. I mean, considering everything that they essentially put you through and other people through, they don't know, if love is ever gonna come knocking on this person's door. I am definitely getting that they're hoping that love does come knocking on their door, but they're not entirely sure if it actually would, considering everything that they put you and other people through, is basically what I'm gathering. But I just kind of feel like this person's having like the only awakening, and they're realizing how messed up of a person they actually were in their past, and just how they don't want to continue to be that way ever again. I think that this person knows that all the bad that they essentially put you through and everybody else through, that they're going to have to essentially pay for it at some point, and they're willing to kind of accept whatever karma throws in their direction. They just don't want to be this person from their past anymore. And it just kind of looks like this person seeking for forgiveness from you, for forgiveness from other people, you know, on top of that, because it has been weighing very heavily on their heart when it comes down to how they specifically did you. I am definitely getting that, and other people. The way that they did you, though, hurts them honestly the most, because they knew that you truly did give them and your relationship with them your all, and they still did you the way that they did you. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I feel like this person is definitely affected by how they did other people, but I think the difference between you and these other people is that these other people didn't do the amount of things that you essentially did for them. Is basically what I'm getting, and that's why it weighs very heavily, and that's why, you know, their relationship with you and how they did you, you know, affects them way more than any other situation that they were essentially a part of. Okay. But I am definitely getting that if love does show up, if it does, right? They're very determined to not put that person through what they put you or anybody else through. Okay. What actions will Taurus take towards this person or moving forward? You know, when it comes down to like the two of you working things out and are getting back together, I am definitely getting this energy coming from the both of you. I think that you're 100% done with this person from your past, and I think that this person is 100% like done as well, you know, with you. I'm not getting any sort of like vibe of you guys wanting to get back together or work things out. I'm not getting that whatsoever. I think that you're 100% done with this human being, and I think that this person knows that. But I just figured I just kind of like point that out. But in regards to what actions you plan on taking in this person's direction and are moving forward, I think that you're glad that this person's putting in the time, energy, and effort towards essentially changing and becoming a better person. It just sucks that you had to go through hell and back. You know what I mean? Though that's like your biggest thing. Like, you're happy that they're changing, but you're just like, damn, that kind of sucks, because like I had to go through hell and back, you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden this person wants to change. Like, it's just a bunch of mixed emotions, you know, coming from you. And it's totally understandable, you know, why there's so many mixed emotions coming from you. It's understandable that here they are apologizing, and you are acknowledging that, yeah, they are doing the right thing by apologizing, but you're upset because, you know, it took them this long. And then here you see them putting in the work to essentially change and like turn over like a whole new leaf. And you're just like, yeah, that's great, but that kind of sucks because I had to go through this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So I just kind of see you experiencing a lot of mixed emotions, I would say, about everything that's going on here, you know, with this person, how they're changing. What actions? Okay. So we do have the Strength card, we do have the Ace of Swords, and then we also have the Two of Swords. That's interesting. With the Ace of Swords, so Two of Swords, that creates a Three of Swords at play, which basically represents heartbreak. It also represents discomfort, but this is kind of leaning far more towards, you know, heartbreak, but I'm also getting like an energy of them essentially feeling bad too. Now, you did show up as an Empress. The person that's in the Strength card is technically speaking the Empress. Even though this person's apologizing to you, they just don't feel like it's enough, because they're still kind of walking around with this guilt. They're still kind of walking around with this disappointment. They're still walking around, you know, with the fact that they did you wrong, you know? And I do see them apologizing. That's the thing. I do see them apologizing to you, you know, for it, but it's not making them feel any fucking better. It's not making them feel any better. It's not making them feel any better. Like, I do see this person apologizing to other people and it's making them feel better, but when it comes down to you, it's different, because it just doesn't make them feel any better. It doesn't bring them that sense of like relief. Like, okay, I apologized. Taurus forgave me. Okay, now I can move on with my life. You know what I mean? I could turn over this whole new leaf, you know? That's not happening here on this person's behalf. It's definitely not happening here on this person's behalf. It's definitely not. They still find themselves essentially feeling, you know, sorry for what they did. They still find themselves feeling bad for what they did. They're still kind of walking around with that regret. They're still kind of walking around knowing that they basically, you know, did you wrong, and there's nothing that this person could basically do to undo what they essentially did. I think that what's really happening here is that although you turn around, you forgave them, they haven't forgiven themselves for how they basically did you. I think that that's the problem. Is that they haven't forgiven themselves. I think that this person has forgiven themselves when it comes down to how they did other people. But when it comes down to you, I don't believe this person has essentially fully forgiven themselves for how they essentially did you. I don't think that they have, and I think that that's why this person is essentially walking around with the emotions they're walking around with, as far as guilt is concerned, and, you know, remorse, and, you know, them still feeling bad, and, you know, things of that nature. It's because they haven't forgiven themselves for how they did you. And until this person forgives themselves for how they essentially did you, they're gonna forever find themselves walking around, you know, with this, you know, energy of regret and, you know, remorse, and, you know, still feeling bad, right, for how they did you and the things that they essentially put you through. They got to forgive themselves. They got to forgive themselves. All right, so that is what I have for you, Taurus. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.